Hey everybody, welcome to a Brit SHOCKED from me, BP1, no BP2 on this one, as he is actually in Florida. Yes, unbelievable. So, recent Hurricane Helene, Helene, I probably got that wrong already. Historic storm surge devastates Cedar Key, Florida. Obviously this happened 4 to 5 days ago now in the US, and we didn't really get too much information on it on our British news stations, but we heard about it obviously through the channel, and you know, a lot of our subscribers are out there in Florida, and you know, it was pretty scary stuff, and I thought I have to do a video on this. Obviously BP2's just flown out to Florida on vacation, so it'd be interesting to see what he sees in the locations that he's in. But yeah, I just saw some of this and I just thought, oh wow, you know, this seems to be pretty devastating from, you know, what I can see, and hope everybody out there's safe. You know, hit the comments if you were affected by it below. Just want to go through this video and see what it's about. This is from Jonathan Petramala. So yeah, let's just see what it's about and see some of the footage.
Guys, that's a roof.
What you're looking at
is
one of the most terrifying forces of nature, storm surge.
Oh man, there's somebody swimming over there.
Oh my god, someone's swimming. Such a high risk of life.
If you live on the water, sometimes you're going to live in the water.
Why do I say storm surge is one of the most powerful forces on the planet? It's scenes like this.
Wow. Oh my
just how
god,
quickly
that's completely
water
gutted.
can wipe away years of history. And that's what's happened here on Cedar Key.
This is devastation.
Oh man.
The beachfront over there, you can see right through it. And
oh,
I think that was built in the early 1970s, and it's never been this bad.
shoot. I'm amazed at how a hurricane just completely flattens everything. I mean, we know the power of tornadoes.
Disasters I've been in, I picture scenes like this, but I really hear this. The sound of smoke alarms disconnected.
Wow.
Such an eerie soundtrack to disasters.
Scary, and this is nothing like we've seen before.
Man alive, that's incredible. Sorry about the
I've never seen a production any better than this.
Wow.
Just coastal community living.
That shows it.
We don't get, you know, I mean, we have one hurricane here that hit in the UK when I think I was about 8 or 9, but you know, we just can't. We just get storms over here, and we get the odd water spout and stuff like that. You know, and when it's windy and we have a really, you know, high winds of say 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, we think that is pretty bad, you know, trees come down, so forth, but this is a complete another level, and we just can't comprehend it unless I think you've been through one or you see that devastation firsthand. Yeah, as scary, and hats off to anybody that has to go through that. You know, your sympathy is definitely with us. Let's just keep going.
I mean, I've never seen that in my life.
It's really hard to imagine looking at this bay in the Gulf of Mexico just how high the water can rise, but you just have to come across the street to see the result of last year's Hurricane Idalia. Those steps, that used to be leading to a cottage that sat here for years.
Oh wow.
But the surge from Idalia, a little over 6 feet, wiped that away.
Surge, yeah, it's
this is what's
power
left
of water,
of the far away,
so
and we caught up with the owner a couple of days ago as they were preparing for Helene, bringing everything they could out of those cottages because they fear that Helene's going to be even worse.
I think it's serious. Yeah, we're all a little nervous, all a little worried, all trying to make
wow.
sure we
So
do
this is before.
a little more than what we did last time, hoping we can save a little more than we did last time.
This is just the beginning. You can feel the change. The tide has shifted, it's starting to come in, and also the wind as well as Hurricane Helene continues to creep closer to this tiny island of Cedar Key.
What is he doing there? Why is he standing there? Oh my god. Wow.
Here we go.
Wow, look at that. Oh my god. Just power. That is
So
a
we're
really
about
eerie sound, doesn't it?
7.5, almost 8 feet difference. The
8
storm surge
feet.
itself has chased us back about a block. So we've been pushed back a block in the last hour and a half from the storm surge. And it is just continuing to stack up. And we could have another 8 feet.
Oh my god. Look at all the debris. It's the debris, isn't it?
It's coming up at a pretty quick pace. We just
Oh wow! Just thinking about this, if you're in a hurricane, I guess without the surge of water, I guess like the debris is different. It's going to be where it's brought it down where it is, and some stuff's going to be moved. But with water, I mean, it can just be carried anywhere and everywhere, can't it? It's like you come back and you're just like, well, where is everything? Who knows? It's such a sad thing. It's bad anyway, but yeah, I didn't realise just so much. Yeah, I've got the Keys, and anywhere along those coastals that get hit with water, that it's a whole different power, isn't it? Man.
This is a worst case scenario for Cedar Key. This is storm surge likely that this community has never seen before, at least in living memory. It continues to push in. This is First Street, and it is whitecaps, waves several feet high, pushing in off the Gulf of Mexico and into these homes. This is not a good sign. All of this debris that's sitting here, it shows structures. Whoa! Look at that. Structures have been destroyed by this surge, and it continues to go higher. We have not seen the fiercest of the winds from Hurricane Helene that's made landfall northwest of where we are. But we might be seeing some of the worst of its storm surge.
The best record we've got is the first McCain's came here in around 1860. We've been generational ever since.
And so what is this like to see?
Like somebody punching you in the stomach.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Never seen anything like it. I've heard stories of the 1950 Hurricane Easy, and as far as I know, in my family, we've never seen water like this before.
Sadly, I see firsthand how quickly life can change on a regular basis, whether it's through a hurricane, a tornado, or even a flood. But your life can just as easily be upended here online. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who may want to target
an advert.
your full name, email, home address, your whole life.
How fast it's coming in, just the volume and the speed and the force that it's coming in. Usually it comes in slow and leaves fast. This time I've never seen waves like this right down here. There's never been water on this road, and we've got what looks like rapids down here. It's
rapids, yeah.
Unbelievable. We've been watching it on our phones, the mean low water marks, and we know that Adelia was 10.69. It was at the floor of my house at 10.69, and we're already over 13. So I know it's absolutely in my house. It's at least knee deep in my house right now.
Jeez, that's a shit thing to think about, isn't it? Sound.
Yesterday morning, before Hurricane Helene passed
wildlife as well.
Worst case scenario, storm surge would reach the roof, and we saw overnight the peak of that surge, a wall of water
that is someone's
crushed
house.
This tiny island, and it took out the faraway inn. Every building has been completely destroyed by that water brought in by Hurricane Helene. I mentioned these red steps in that report that was left behind from a cottage used to sit here that was wiped away by the storm surge from Hurricane Idalia just a year ago.
Same one.
Now Helene storm surge has taken everything else away.
This is the worst I've seen. I do really feel bad for people. I really do.
Oh, that is so. I feel awful.
This is not going to be the
people.
same Cedar Key that you grew up with.
No, it really isn't. This would change. A lot of these properties won't be rebuilt, you know. You lose the businesses, then people you know, you see for years don't show up because there's no work for them, you know. So it really does change the whole dynamic of the town.
Around 75 or so folks, I'm told, stayed on the island, and they've woken up in a completely new world. The implications of storms like these are so wide-ranging. This island is forever changed, and it happened in a few hours, overnight.
The work that we're gonna lose.
Oh God, yeah. The effort that you've had in your life.
Our jobs.
I mean, the big deck.
Exactly, just see
Your jobs, all the effort you put into your house.
We're between 12 and 15 people, and it's gone. The market employs 6 or 7 people. It's gone, and it's owned by the same man. And he lost 2 businesses in one fell swoop. It's sad.
Oh man. I don't know
Are you
what
getting
the
caught short in the rain? With the bearskin waterproof soft shell jacket, you won't even need an umbrella.
Hang on. Don't know what the insurance is like out in the States for, you know, business insurance. Certainly around places that have got, you know, that are in flood risk, hurricanes, you know, natural disaster areas. How easy it is to get insurance, or maybe you just can't. You know, we know it in the UK. You know, certain valleys that if you buy a house in those valleys, your insurance is. You just, you know, you got to take the hit. You know, it's cheap because you're taking the risk. Wow, this is. I mean, you know, we could have done news stories, okay, on the devastation of Helene across all of America, but it's really interesting just to focus in one community here, in Cedar Key, because you just don't. You don't see that, you know. You just see the big things on the news. So this is really, it actually hurts more to watch because you see the before and the after, especially with those red steps, and that's someone's house, you know, and families and businesses, and yeah, it's awful. The power of water is just. We know the power of wind.
Historical downtown. 1842. It's hard to believe, but in all that time, since these buildings have stood, this one since 1880, never has this area seen the water like what Helene brought. Just rushed inside. Oddly enough, it brought the coffee cups here.
Oh my God, they're all over.
Left them on the sidewalk. This building itself, 1872. The pioneers, when they built here, they thought of things like elevation when it came to things like the surge from hurricanes.
Yeah.
That was a way of life since the beginning. This building obviously boarded up, but the elevation, the history was not enough for this historic storm of Hurricane Helene. You can see the boarding up didn't matter.
No.
The force of the water pushing everything inside, the water getting in, and now there are fish and tadpoles swimming inside.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's very rare to say you've seen something that no one else has, but the storm surge from Hurricane Helene is something this historic downtown has never seen in its long history.
Wow. Like he said, you know, they're built up anyway.
After Hurricane Helene, you do not have to look far to see the future of Cedar Key. Across the street, these homes that are built up 20 feet, modern construction techniques, high on stilts. That's the future here on Cedar Key in the lowest parts of the island. It's the only way, clearly, to survive what is now the worst hurricane storm surge in this island's history.
Wow.
How can you, as a community, come together after this third one in a year?
Because there's so much we love about this place. There's so much, especially the nature part, the eco part, the wildlife that's here and that's nearby.
I know, that's the wildlife. I mean,
every day to walk down to the coast and see the dolphin or the manatee, all the bird life. It's incredible. There are safer places to live, but not as many with so much incredible.
That's the passion of a local person.
And people that are so supportive.
No one seems to know this, but
unbelievable. That's all I can say. I think that's the end of the video. I think that's just a last one. I don't know what to say really, other than, you know, I didn't expect that at that level. I don't know what I was expecting. You know, probably what you see on the news reports of certain hurricanes, but I just don't imagine to see this in the States. You know, I see it in some of the Caribbean islands where it just gets flattened, but in the States normally it's just like, yeah, it's pretty bad, but it's the water damage, isn't it? It's just incredible. Just the force of water, the pressure behind it, pretty much snap anything. It's a bit like a tornado with putting a bit of blade of grass into a piece of wood. You think the power that it takes to do something like that, the force behind water that can just rip through anything. I mean that there with the stairs. We saw that little house. They put the boards up, but it's just flattened the whole house. The boards are not even, you know. It's just devastating. It's tough to watch, but at the same time, you know, as a Brit, where we just don't get this sort of thing, it's interesting to see what communities have to go through and how resilient they are at coming back. So yeah, I wanted to get this out because I heard about, you know, Helene, and it's not been well put on the news here in the UK. So and this is a pretty special video from somebody that, you know, well done Jonathan for taking the time to do it, but at the same time, you know, risked himself there, and a passionate local resident. All right, well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me, BP1 at Britpop's React. We'll be back later on with another reaction from myself and BP2 that was pre-recorded. As I said, BP2 is out there. I wonder if he's going to see any of this, or if he can take, you know, what happened. He's further up Florida. I think he's up like Fort Lauderdale, that area. So it'd be interesting to see, you know, what footage he's got as well. Anyway, I hope you stayed safe. If you're anywhere near that hurricane, do let me know in the comments. Just put on the comments, I'm safe. I was safe. That was, you know, just so we know, people from that area that watch us, that you were safe, and you're all cool. All right, like I said, we're back tomorrow. Until then, thanks for coming with me on that video. Ciao, bye. Mad. So sorry about this.